Hello, student. How are you? Hopefully, you are preparing very nice for your annual CBSE examination. Now, today I have made some important 6 marks long questions for you, and these are expected questions from your CBSE point of view. Now, let us start with the important questions of the 6 marks. The first question I have mentioned here is describe the lessons of the national emergency of 1975. What lesson you have learned from the emergency 1975? As you know, I have mentioned some answers also. These are very helpful and useful to you in learning point to point. And you may also get the answers, these answers also, and you can make your own answers also. Now, I am explaining here the first answer. Now, as you know that the first on 25th June 1975, a national emergency was declared in India in the name of the internal unrest in the whole country, and this emergency came was in force for 18 months. And we also learned some lesson from this emergencies. First is that we have learned is that during the emergency we have tried to weaken our democracy. This is the most important lesson that we have learned, that democracy can never end from India, but because everyone has a faith in the Indian democracy. But during emergency, our democracy setup was weakened. And the second point is that many types of fundamental rights were suspended during this emergency. Also, the role of the judiciary for the protection of, as we know, that judiciary is main task is to protect our fundamental rights, and many types of our civil rights that were protected, they were being also suspended during this emergency. And the third point is that we have learned the lesson that with the imposition of the emergency in the name of the internal disturbance in India, ठीक है? Instead of the word armed rebellion was added to the constitution, it was made mandatory that written information of the council of ministers to be given to the president. Only then the emergency will declare in India. So instead of being armed rebellion, the name is used as internal disturbance in the country, and with this information provided by the Council of Ministers to the President, the emergency was declared in India. Now, come to the fourth point, that this find that people should be aware and should also be aware of the work of the government. The most important lesson that after the emergency, now people came to know what is right and wrong, and how they can criticize the government for their actions also. So there is a tremendous awareness among the people after this emergency also. So these are the 4 points, according to me, that is the lesson that we have learned with the emergency. Now come to the second question. What do you mean by non-congressism, and who gave this idea of non-congressism? And this phenomena, you know that the non-congressism, this phenomena of the other opposition political parties and leaders, they united together to the Congress party was addressed as a non-congressism. All those opposing parties and the leaders who argued that the policies of the Congress party are against the democracy and are not for the welfare of the common people or the poor people. So they all these parties unite together. All these opposition party against the Congress, they unite together and came forward as an organized political party. This concept is known as non-congressism. Now, the main art director, as you know, is the Ram Manohar Loya, who has addressed this process of uniting all the political parties and leaders against the Congress party in the name of the non-congressism. Now, this non-congressism concept, all the opposition parties and political parties argued that Congress has been removed to save the democracy in India. So they want the Congress should be removed from India, and in order to save the democracy in India. Now, third question that I have here mentioned here is the countries of the South Asia mistrust each other. This prevents the region from uniting and exerting its influence in international forum. Give any two examples to support this statement and suggest measures to strengthen South Asia. This question is from your NCERT book. As we know, that South Asia comprises of these neighboring countries of the Indias, the Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Myanmar, and Afghanistan. They are also constituted as a part of South Asia. And now the main question is that how they are mistrust with each other, or they are not having a cordial relation or the peaceful relation with each other. These are the following arguments in favor. The first is the border dispute. As we know that there is border dispute in South Asia. Exceptionally, you can take the example of India's Pakistan and India's with the Bangladesh. Now, next second point is the terrorist incidents. The terrorist incidents on the border is also the factor of the mistrust among the South Asian countries. You can take the example of the Pakistan is the main considered to be a great extent in this, which playing an important role in enhancing the terrorist activities in the South Asia, and this reduces the concept of trust among the each other South Asian countries. Now, third phenomena is there is also an apprehension about India in the small countries of South Asia, because India being a small, but India is a big economy in terms of military capability also. So India mistrusts that India is growing very fast and the developed country as compared to the other South Asian countries. So this mistrust can also be seen here. Now, fourth point of the mistrust is that one of the factor of mistrust in this country is the South Asia is the interference of the external powers of the world. The other political powers countries, you can say, as you can say, the China's involvement in Pakistan, or you can say these are the factors that contribute their interference that contribute to the mistrust among the South Asian countries. Now, next part of the question is the measures how can enhance them, strengthen them. The following measures are that first point is these countries of South Asia they have to take efforts to establish the peace by removing their mutual differences. And they should establish peace by removing their mutual differences. Second point is endeavor or efforts to eliminate the cross border terrorist incidents. As we can say that efforts should be made at all the terrorist activities that can be eliminated or ended, and opportunities should be made to for the development and the peace of the South Asia. Now, third point is that to strengthen the South Asian, all these countries have to increase their trade activities among themselves and further sweeten their relations through cultural and technological ties also, technological exchanges also. Now, come to the fourth point, how we can strengthen our relations. The SARC is also has a strengthen because it is an organization that provides an opportunities for development of these countries. So SARC is also playing an important role in enhancing the mutual relationship among these countries. Now, next fourth question is that how you can say that Russia is considered as a new center of power in the 21st century. Elaborate this question. Now, as we know that Russia at present has emerged a new center of power after this dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991. Russia became the successor of the Soviet Union, and Russia has been declared as the successor of Soviet Union in the United Nations also. Now, in the 21st century, how Russia is emerging as a superpower? The following points are: first point is that Russia has immense reserves of natural resources. Russia is very rich in the mineral resources and the natural gases, and due to this reserve, Russia has become a powerful country in the world. Now, the second point, Russia has a stockpile of the weapons, a huge stockpile of the weapons also. These include all types of missiles, weapons of advanced and modern types. This also made them, and Russia is even a largest seller of these armaments also. Now come to the third point. As we know that Russia is a permanent member of the UN Security Council. This also make, and he is having a veto power also. That makes Russia as a powerful new center of power. Now come to the fourth point. Its economy of the Russia is also a developed one. Its GDP rate is also very good, and which make it stand a powerful country in the world. Now, fifth point is at the international level also, Russia has the ability to intervene in the global affair also, and its influence in the Russia talks is also clearly visible in the global politics also, due to which we can say that Russia is emerging a new center of power. Six, last note six is this: Russia is the largest country in the world, and technically, capability of Russia is also developed. Now, these are the 6 points. Now, come to the fifth question. Fifth question is about what are the major changes in Indian politics after 2014? Now, as you said that 2014 as the started, we have era of the NDA government, Indian National Democratic Alliances government in India. NDA was formed in 2014. Since many changes have been seen in India, now the following points we can say. The first point is that since 2014, there has been a big changes in Indian politics. Now, development and good governance has become a major issue in the Indian politics. Development and good governance. The government is formulating and working on many schemes and policies for the development of the country and for the good governance in the country. So, their entire focus is on these two issues. Now, come to the second point. After 2014, a major change in the NDA government is this government is led by the Bharatiya Janata Party, who gave the slogan "Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas." And after this, the government after this formation of the government, they keep this slogan alive also. And government has made many schemes and the plans, and also making continuous efforts for the implementation of these Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas and this policy also, and to ensure the development of the every section of the society. Now come to the third point. After 2014, attempt has been made to eliminate the caste-based politics. So Indian politics efforts are being made, and various plan were also developed and worked on them to the nation building, which is considered to be a big change to eliminate the casteism in the Indian politics. Now, come to the fourth point is that after 2014, since 2000, many government has made many types of the schemes. As we know, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made many schemes. These schemes are like Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, Jan Dhan Yojana, Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Gram Jyoti Yojana, Kisan Fasal Bima Yojana, Beti Padhao Beti Bachao Yojana, Anshuman Bharat Yojana, etc. Various schemes have been made. The sole purpose of this scheme is that all-round development of the country and development opportunities for all the citizens of the country. Last, fifth, not least, after 2014, there has been also made a tremendous promotion of nationalism in Indian politics. Nationalism spirit has been enhanced. So this was the fifth question. Now come to the sixth question. Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan is also known for the three major contributions. Elaborate. So here you have to elaborate the major contribution by the Jayaprakash Narayan. As we know, he is known as a Lok Nayak. Lok Nayak, why is Lok Nayak? Because Narayan was a prominent Gandhian leader, and he did not resort to violence in any of his movement and followed the path of non-violence and did many types of the movements also. The major contribution by him is first is that the struggle against the corruption. As we know that Narayan led the movement against the corruption in Bihar on the request of the students and played the role in making a nationwide movement. Loknaik Jayaprakash Narayan provided leadership to the students of the Bihar and Gujarat also for this movement in a non-violent manner and fiercely opposed the corruption. Now come to the second point. Second is the theory of the community socialism. This theory, as and Jayaprakash Narayan is also remembered for this theory of community socialism given by him. Narayan believed that the country is reflected in three-tier form of community, region, and nation. Community, region, and nation. Narayan believed that India is a community of communities, and this is a real reality. So this is his theory that community socialism. Now come to the third. Third is the theory of the total revolution, as is being propounded. This theory is a total revolution seen by him. Narayan believed that the revolution should not be limited to the political field only, but there is a need to change in every field. Revolution, moral, cultural, economic, political, also. So this is the seven concept of the total revolutions being propounded by Narayan. So these revolution that every kind of the revolution is a person who is also the head of every kind of the change in India. Now, this is the third question. Now, come to the seventh question that is important from my point of view is ASEAN relevant in present time? So, this is very important question. What is the relevance of ASEAN at the present contemporary Indian politics? Not only in India and in the world politics, also how ASEAN is playing an important role. Now, come to know, as we know, that ASEAN was established on 8th August 1967 by the five countries at the Bangkok Declaration. And even today, ASEAN member are very important regional organization and is considered its current relevance can be seen from the following points. First point is ASEAN has provided a free trade zone in terms of the investment, labor services, and also achieved a great success in this area. Now, come to the second point. ASEAN relevance in such a way that it is a fast growing economies like China and India also showing a greatest interest in the trade and investment with the ASEAN members also. Now, third point is the ASEAN style or the way. In fact, we can say that absolutely that is needed even today, present time, so that the atmosphere of peace and security is maintained in the world. Now, come to the fourth point. ASEAN through ASEAN Forum also world powers discuss the political and the security manners in several times, and there is also need for this forum also. Now, fifth point is ASEAN believes that in the principles and the objectives of the United Nations. So ASEAN members are working all together for the promotion to obey the principles and objectives of the United Nations and carry forward all the works in this regard. So ASEAN is playing a very important role as a regional organization. Now come to the eighth question. What is an integral humanism and who propounded this idea? And as we know, this is a important question. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay has made this theory integral humanism. Now, what is this concept? Integral humanism is the ideology under the indigenous social economic paradigm. Paradigm means typical example that has been propounded, and under it, a man is the only center of the development. It is it is and should be necessary to ensure a dignified life of every individual by establishing a synergy between the needs of the individual and the society. Now, integral humanism educates the sustainable consumption of natural resources so that these resources can be replenished. This concept of unitary humanism was propounded by Pandit Deen Upadhyay, who was also a great philosopher, socialist, economist, and a politician. Now, next question is the nature of the Congress was that of social and ideological collision. Justify. So, here you are being asked the Congress Party, as we say that of the social and ideological collision, its ideologies mix. So, student, please, I request you, whenever you, before attempting the answer, you should be clear about what is being asked in the question so that you will be precise in writing the answer. Now, here the Congress Party is one of the oldest political party in India. This party has played an important contribution in the independence of the country. And from the beginning, the nature of the Congress was social and ideological alliance, and we understand this from that back point. Now, first, as we know that the farmers and the industrialists, the city citizens and the village workers and the owners, as well as the middle class, lower class, the upper class, and the people of all caste category of the groups got a place in this Congress party since its inception when it was formed. The second point is the Congress Party, as we see that it included the extremists and the moderates, the right wing, the left wing, as well as the middle path. And thus, it is a mixed social party with the different views also. Now, come to the third point. This social and the all inclusive policy of the Congress Party brought tremendous success to the Congress and presented a huge challenge to the opposition parties at that time. So this is the main success of the Congress depend upon this social and all inclusive policy concept also. Now come to the fourth point. Under this Congress party, the representation of different groups of session was available. And even the women also participated in this Congress party with a great enthusiasm and were able to present their ideas and ideologies through the Congress party also, and they got a chance to participate in the Indian politics also, women's also. Now come to the 10th question. Critically evaluate the role and the limitation of the SARC in paving the way to economic cooperation among the countries of the South Asia. So how SARC is playing an important role, and now come to this question. SARC, as we know, that was established in December 1985 to maintain or and enhance the economic relations and peace and order among the countries of South Asia. At present, SARC is having the 8 members. SARC has done a lot in preparing a way for economic cooperation among these countries of South Asia. We can understand from these following points. The first point is that the SARC in its 12th summit held on January 2004 signed a free trade agreement that is called SAFTA, and it is implemented in January 2006. Now come to the second point. The main objective of the South Asia Free Trade Agreement is to remove the barriers, the trade barriers that is being levied by these member countries, and they provided a chance for the free trade among these South Asian and to promote the free trade among these countries. Now, come to the third point. The SARC has adopted a new liberal policy in South Asia, seeking to eliminate all forms of restriction on the trade and promontory, which has benefited all the members countries of SARC. Come to the fourth point. The members countries of the SARC has established a three technical and economic cooperation and ventures in the Bay of Bengal, forming a BIMTEC, BIMSTEC, through which the trade and investment have been increased among the SARC countries. So, thus we have seen that from this above, SARC has played an important role in the economic cooperation among the South Asian countries. Now, criticism, the limitations on this development of the SARC is that SARC has played an important role in establishing a new free trade and economic cooperation among the countries of South Asia through its effort, but still it is having some shortcomings or limitations among its path. The first is that the mutual differences among these member countries. The SARC main objective is are not being achieved in as stringent between India and Pakistan is falling in its economic objectives. So this is a major hindrance. These countries are having mutual differences. Second point is that it is difficult to achieve their objective. SARC countries, like the mother of the other regional organization in the world, has a widen its role so that it can achieve its economic objective. At present, it is finding difficult to achieve its objective. Now come to the third point. As we have seen that EU, European Union has something is common among the as this regional organization is having common flag, common song, common founding day, and its currency also. So this is also a limitation that SARC may have a issue like it should too have a its flag, song, and founding day as well as its currency, like the European Unions. Now, come to the fourth point. Many types of differences are being seen among the South Asian countries also, which is obvious that these differences is visible in the failure of achieving the objectives of the SARC. Now, come to this related question among this, that is. What do you know about the Maldives as a SARC member? Describe the relations between India and Maldives. At present, we know that in Indian politics, Maldives is a very central in Indian politics. Now, how both India and Maldives are being a relationship among them in Indian politics. Now, first thing, as we know that Maldives is a very small island country in South Asia. It's a neighboring country of India and a member country of SARC also. The rule of the Sultanate was established in Maldives till 1968, and after which the republic system was adopted here and the president system of government was established. Now, in June 2005, Maldives adopted a multi-party system and democracy was established there in reality. MDP, the Maldives Democratic Party, political party has dominated and controlled the political affairs in the Maldives also. Now, the relationship between India and Maldives are, as we know that both are having a cordial or good relations. Both these countries are peace-loving countries, and political objective of both these countries are the same. And we can understand the relations from the following points. First is that in 1988, India has sent its army to Maldives because a military conspiracy that could not be successful in any way. The India has helped the Maldives also. So conspiracy against Maldives was there, and India through its army tried to end this conspiracy with the by sending this military. Now come to the second point. India has a trade and economic relations. That is very good. Now come to the third point. India has provided the special assistance to Maldives in its economic development, tourism, fisheries, industries also. Fourth point is India and Maldives have signed the four agreements in the year 2020, which shows a very cordial and good relations among these countries also. Now come to the 12th question. Describe any three factors for the rise of the coalition government in India. As we know that coalition government, when a party, any political parties do not get a clear majority after the result of the election, then in such a situation, two and more political parties they come together and form the government. This is called the coalition government. Now come to the question. As it is being asked, the various factors that are responsible for the rise of coalition government. First is a weakening of the national political parties that we have seen that since 1980s Indian politics there has been a national level political parties started becoming relatively weak, and many factors were responsible for this, such as a split among themselves and the leaders also, due to the lack of the unanimity and the political parties becoming weak. As a result, no party can get a clear majority in the Lok Sabha election, and they had to take the help of the various regional political parties. Regional means the state political parties to form the government at the national level. So this is also a main cause weakening position of the national political parties. Now second point is the rise in the importance of the regional political parties or the state political party. Since 1980s, this is a period of the rise of the various regional political parties in Indian politics. Gradually, these regional political parties establish their influence in the respective regions, and for this, the various political parties, the issue of the caste, tribe, and other backward classes also helped in the formation of these regional political parties to rise at the national level. Regional political parties, because of their influence and influential public opinion in the Lok Sabha election, also got some seats, and they are very important in the formation of the government. And these political parties started playing an important role in the Indian government also. Now, come to the third point is the rise of the opportunistic politics. Now, opportunist politics is that Indian politics has socio-economic witnessed and political changes since 1990s, when you have seen the Mandal Commission was there, due to which that many caste politics and politics with the religion and sect have been provided opportunity at the regional parties, and they got the opportunistic politics here. They have taken this opportunity, and by taking this advantage they strengthened their role and started making their power of political parties, regional political parties is strengthened at the national level. Now come to the 13th question. This is very important question. I likely to come. What do you mean by good governance? Because this, as we know, that our Prime Minister Mr. Modi is doing very hard to achieve this concept of good governance. You should know what is good governance and what programs are being running at by the present central government of the India, which aim at establishing the good governance. This is important question also. Now, good governance, as we know, is a system of governance under which priority is given to the public welfare, work, and efforts are made to establish a quality and value-based system in the governance. While the governance means administration should be quality focused and value-based focused, and public welfare of all. Now, under this set present NDA alliance government under the leadership of BJP raised the issue of good governance and formed the government with a huge majority of slogans like Sabka Saas, Sabka Vikas. At present, the central government tries to run the public welfare work and the policies for the good governance and development. The examples are given below. The policies being started by the our central government. First is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. As we know that this campaign of India was launched for the cleanliness of India, and through this information and awareness was provided that every citizen of India should develop a cleanliness and has to be made a campaign. Now, second point is Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme. This is also a path of good governance as being started. Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme. Under the scheme, special provisions have been made for the women education in India. Now come to the third point is the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana in this scheme, Indian government will provide the free LPG gas connections to the women in the country so that they have not to face any problem regarding the cooking also. Now come to the fourth policy of the good governance is the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So this plan has been made to open an account in the banks to provide banking facility to every family of the country, and every person can keep their money in the bank also. Now come to the fifth point is Kisan Fasal Bima Yojana, Fasal crops. So this scheme was also started giving financial help to the farmer in case of the loss of their crops. Many farmers of the country have also applied to take the advantage of this scheme, and this is a very good example of good governance in India. Now come to the sixth point is the Anshuman Bharat scheme. Anshuman Bharat scheme in India started by Government of India under this scheme, which the financially weak people of the country have to provide the security related insurance they so that they don't have to face any kind of the health problems also. Now the seventh policy was started is the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana. The objective of this policy is to provide the electricity supply to the agriculture and the non-agriculture consumers in the rural area in India, so that they can use them judicially. Now come to the 14th question that is important. State any five reasons for the dominance of the Congress party in the first region elections. The most important question. Now, the reason for the dominance of the Congress during this first region election until 1967. The first is the success of the Congress party in the first region election was that it was an old political party and no other political party was older than this Congress. Second, it's a contribution in the freedom movement also, and this party has got the support of the people also. Third point is the nationwide network of the Congress party. This party, so that why it is winning, because it's playing an important role in the country also, and the reach of the Congress party was to every part of the country also. Fourth point is the Congress party include the big stalwarts or the influential leaders of the country like Nehru hai, Rajendra Prasad hai, K. Kamraj, Morarji Desai, Jagjeevan Ram, Vallabhbhai Patel, etc. Because of this prominent leader, the Congress party has got a winning chance till 1967. Now come to the fifth point. The first region elections, no strong opposition party was there was the absence of opposition political parties, due to which Congress was able to win the election during the first region elections. Now the 15th important question. Explain any four factors that make European Union an effective organization. As we know, European Union, the factors which are responsible for is first is the Marshall Plan. You know that after the Second World War, European organization was formed as a economic corporation to provide the financial aid to the Western European under this Marshall Plan. And second point is the process of economic integration of European capital countries proceeded systematically in 1949. European Council was created. And third point is this council was later transferred to the European Economic Community in 1957, and after this disintegration dissolution of US Soviet Union in 1991, and European Union was formed in 1992 at the Maastricht Treaty. Now come to the fourth point. European Union has its own flag, national anthem, foundation day and currency also. This European Union was the largest economy in the world until 2005. The European Union GDP in 2005 was approximately dollar 12 trillion. So these are the factors that make European Union a powerful new center of power. Now, the 16th question is that explain any three positive and any three negative effects of the globalization. The globalization, as you know, is a process in which there are the free flow of goods, capital, labor, idea, or technology. So, the following are the positive and the negative effects of the globalization are as well. First of all, I take with the positive effect of globalization. Positive effect is the first is the increase in the trade. So with the globalization, there has been a benefit to the many countries in the world. Their trade relations have increased. Second point is the standard of living of the people has increased with the globalization. There is a tremendous increase in the standard of living of the people. People are living much better than before. Now come to the third point. For third point is that now the people has increased the number of choices also, choices in terms of the things and the goods also with the globalization. Now we can say the market is flooded with the various types of the things and the food items, and various drinking options are available to the consumers also. Now come to the negative points of the globalization. First is the increase in the economic inequalities. So at the world level, you can see that many countries of the world, due to globalization, economic inequalities has increased. The richer countries are becoming richer and the poorer are becoming poorer. Now come to the second point. Negative impact is there has not been an equal flow of the labor and the capital. Developed countries have benefited in capital investment but have stopped the flow of the labor through various visa restrictions also. Now come to the third negative point is that the small businessmen and the companies have suffered a huge. So this is this with the advent of this multinational companies, the small business and the companies have suffered. Now come and is some at the verge of ruin also. Now come to the 17th question. Write a note on the establishment of democracy in Nepal. How democracy was established in Nepal. Nepal, we know, is a small, peace loving country in the South Asia. Monarchy was established in Nepal from the beginning, but after 1990s, there was a demand for democracy in the Nepal and it was completed in 2006. We can understand their process of democratization from the following points. First is that constitutional monarchy was established in Nepal and the people of the country have been demanding more open and responsible government, but the king had taken a full control over the governance with the help of the army and did not allow the democratic system to be established. So king was against this establishment of democracy there. Second point is that in the year 1990s, a movement in support of the democracy was started in Nepal. Due to this movement, the king accepted the demand for the constitutional monarchy. And on the other hand, the Maoist has started making their impact in Nepal also. So third point is with the Maoist were against the king and the ruling elite people. So there was a triangular fight between first side there is the Raja army, second side is the Maoist, and the third is the pro Democrats. So result was that in 2002 Raja dissolved the monarch. Raja is the monarch dissolved the parliament and dismissed the government. And by 2006 there was a demonstration in the support of the country wide for the democracy in Nepal, and the supporters of the democracy got the first victory when the king Gendra restored the parliament, which was dissolved earlier in 2002. And with this help of the the seven parties together, democracy was restored in Nepal in 2006. Now, in 2008, monarchy was completely abolished and Nepal was declared a democratic republic. And in year 2015, a new constitution was adopted in Nepal, and the Maoists have accepted their representation in the government, leaving the path of struggle and have shown a sense of dedication for the development of a nation, Nepal. Now, come to the 18 important question. Write any six consequences of the national emergency that was imposed on 25th June 1975. The consequences, main effects of the emergency was, as we seen, first effect is that All the opposition leaders were put in jail or they were imprisoned because the Preventive Detention Act was implemented during this, and so all the opposition leaders who were against this Congress ruling party, they were put in bar. Second point is censorship was imposed on the press. So this meant the newspaper and all the news channel, they were under the control of the government. They can't publish anything against the government without the permission of the government. Third point is Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh and Jamaat Islam. These two political organizations, they were banned for they were stopped for doing any kind of the activities. Now come to the fourth point, dharna demonstrations or the strike in the country, that was completely banned. So during emergency, such prohibition and they were totally ended. They were banned. Now come to the fifth point is an effect of declaration was that fundamental rights of the citizens were also suspended and they were become ineffective during this. Now come to the sixth point, a government arrested the political lead activists through Preventive Detention Act and also placed many people under the house arrest under this law also. Now come to the seventh point. After declaration of emergency, newspaper of India expressed and the statement, these two newspaper, Indian Express and the statement, in the country they were prevented from publishing. They were not asked to publish, and they left their newspaper blanks, and these newspapers shows in some respect they show their protest against the government. Now come to this eighth point also, the like the journal like seminar and the mainstream also stopped their publication also during emergency. Now, ninth point is that after this declaration of emergency, some writers like Kannada writer Shivaram Karak and the Hindi writer Panishwar Nath Renu, they returned their titles to the government in protest of this emergency. Now, last not least, the tenth point is that through this 42nd Constitution Amendment in 1976, many changes have been made in the Constitution, that any dispute related to the election of the prime minister, president, the vice president could not be challenged in the court of judiciary, and their term of the legislation was also increased from 5 to 6 year also. So these this is an important question. Now come to the 19th question. Highlight any three issues there is a wide consensus among most of the politics in India. Now main consensus, the commons you can see, all the political parties, they are agreed on some issues. Now what are these issues in which all the political parties have consent, common agreement? First is the representation of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and the backward classes. All the political parties, they are in complete agreement that the people belonging to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes should be included in the Indian politics in any way. So their participation should be increased. All the political parties want that they should get an equal representation in the Indian parties. Now next is new economic policy. The new economic policy was adopted in the year 1991. This policy was LPG, as you know, liberalization, globalization, and privatization. The main objectives of this new economic policy was the development at the rapid pace in India, and also aim to increase the possibilities of investment in India, foreign investment in India, and rapid growth in terms of the trade also. Most of the political parties India fully agree that the new economic policy is necessary for the rapid economic development of the countries, and there is a constant need to work on this new economic policy. Now come to the third point, importance of the regional political parties. Most of the political parties in India also agree that the regional political parties have a special importance in the governance of a country, in the government formation also, and in the importance has increased tremendously since 1989 at the central level. So all the political parties believe that special importance has been given to these parties because they play an important role in the formation of the government, whether at the state level or at the central national level. Now come to the 20th question. How did the Congress split in 1969 as a result of the mutual fractionalism between the syndicates and the Indira Gandhi. As we say that this is a main split. We have this question in this discussion we have asked to give the reasons for the split also. The Congress split in 1969. The major factor behind this split was the differences between Indira Gandhi and the syndicate, and the result of factionalism can be seen from the following point. First is that Indira Gandhi did not give enough importance to the syndicates leaders. The syndicates are the older members of the Congress. These leaders, syndicate leaders, they were angry with the Indira Gandhi, and finally they show their resentment. Resentment means they are against Indira Gandhi, and this is a major also cause of the 1969 split. Second is the Indira Gandhi's socialist policy. Indira Gandhi adopted implemented the various social policies without the opinion of the syndicates. This is also a main cause of the differences among them. Now, come to the third point is the differences of opinion between the leaders. Differences of opinions between the syndicates and the youth leaders of the Indira Gandhi. So there was a rift between the influential and the experienced leaders of the syndicates. So both did not agree with each other opinions in policy formation. Now, fourth point is the when Indira Gandhi nationalized the banks, 14 banks were nationalized in 1969. So the syndicate leaders they were not satisfied this decision also against this Indira Gandhi decision. Now, next is the fifth, Indira Gandhi has abolished the law of privacy. Privacy, as we know, these are the special privileges that were given to the princely states, kings of the princely states. So Indira Gandhi abolished these privileges, and the over syndicate leaders, even the external affair minister Moraj Desai did not agree with this. Privacy should be abolished. Now come to the sixth point is the presidential election in 1969, and this is also a major cause of confrontation among the syndicates and the Indira Gandhi. As we know that the Congress in this Congress representative Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy was name was put forward, and all the congressmen were confident that Sanjeeva Reddy will win the election and will become the president of the country. But here in the statement by Indira Gandhi, she forwarded the name of V.V. Giri as a candidate for the post of the president, and V.V. Giri won the election also. And after this, there was a widespread conflict. Now, come to the seventh point: the expulsion of the Indira Gandhi from the party. Eventually, the ultimate cause of the split was that the syndicate expelled the Indira Gandhi from the Congress after this presidential election, and thus splitting among the Congress party into the two. Congress are being represented by Indira Gandhi, and Congress are represented by the syndicates. Now, last not least question that is important for me is that explain the factor responsible for the growth of the Chinese economy. China, as you know, that China is becoming the largest economy in the world. China is developing very fast, and according to one estimates, it will become the largest and the most developed economy in the world in the coming few years. Now, the factor responsible for the rise of the China economy is the first is that China tried to improve its relation with America in the year 1972. As you know that China's economy was isolated economy. It was in isolation, and but China in 1972 it established relations with the America, and China made its economic development very fast after this collaboration. Second point is in 1973, their Prime Minister Cho In Ilai made a four proposal for the modernization in the field of agriculture, industry, science, and technology. And after this modernization process, China started its development very rapidly. Now, third point is in 1978, the China under the Prime Minister Deng Xiaoping adopted the policy open door policy, and this open door policy in 78 began to accelerate the process of economic development in China. Fourth, farming was privatized in China in the year 1982, and this field of agriculture was privatized. This contributed rapidly for their development also. In 1998, industries was also privatized, and not only industries but also in China special economic zone SEZs. They were also created, and the purpose of this is to promote the foreign investment and to accelerate the economic development in the country. Last not least is that when China joined the World Trade Organization member in 2001, this also increases the economic development of the China. Now China has become a rich developed country and got a special task for connecting its economy with the other countries in the world, and which gave its advantage and rapid economic development in the countries. Thanks a lot. So these are the 21 question according to me, and most of the questions are likely to come in your NOC examination. Thank you and all the best.